Hey everybody, my name is Brent and this is the last E3 conference reaction for the vypermajik YouTube channel done by me. Next time you see a video, it'll probably be from your boy, Jim Afanis, either from LA or when he's back. Woo! I just ran downstairs to get all the stuff that I got at the PlayStation E3 experience. Woo! Which wasn't that cool. So let me get this crap out of the way and just show you what they got, which was not that cool. First up, your PlayStation E3 collectible card. The fuck is this? It's the same thing that's on the poster. Spoilers. Throw that away. Then you got a lanyard with a code on it. Not going to show you the code because I'm going to give it to Jim. I don't have a PlayStation, so I'm a little biased, I guess you would say. But I tried to be unbiased when I was in here. Next thing we got is this Hellblade Sacrifice cube cutout. But the problem is, like, it's on nice paper. Look at that gloss. It's not perforated. You gotta take scissors and a razor blade or X-Acto knife and good luck even trying to put this together. So that's pretty much useless in my opinion. And then you got a poster. What's on the poster? Is it any of the games you saw? No. This is what I never understand about these PlayStation things that Jim always comes back so excited about. Never see him hang up the poster because the posters always look like this. They're generic. There's no Spider-Man, there's no God of War, there's no Days Gone, there's no new Shadow of the Colossus. Oh shit, am I doing spoilers? I forgot. So, anyway, let me just start off by saying, Jim, thank you for getting me the PlayStation Experience tickets. I went with our buddy Ben from work, and we both sat there in complete and utter silence mostly the entire time, while the rest of the audience oohed and awed and hemmed and hawed and laughed and generally reacted probably the same way you did while you were watching it in LA in your theater out there. So, you know, I don't know what to say. The event said it started at 8, so we got all of our stuff, we got our lanyards, and thought we were pretty excited to go in there. Except when we got in there, turns out that yes, it starts at 8, but you gotta watch an hour of the pre-show. Why am I watching the pre-show? I don't care about that. So, thanks PlayStation. You couldn't arrive late, else you wouldn't have gotten a seat. The second thing, I mean, the pre-show honestly was pretty good. You had a bunch of new reveals from there. You had the Crash Bandicoot trailer, which they fucked up. They had the new game from the people who made Until Dawn. It's like a phone game. It's a PlayStation, you know, they have 2 or 3 of those games where you can have 4 people sitting on the couch and they're all on their phones. Just what you want to do when you're hanging out with your friends is everybody be on their goddamn phone. I mean, I'm really worked up. Excuse my language. But, you know, they enter into things like that because they saw that people were streaming Until Dawn and doing what the Twitch people were telling them to do. They're playing it together, and that's where they got this idea. So anyway, we're sitting there, we're watching the stream, and I'm going, this doesn't look very good. Like, they had the house lights on during that part. But I was looking at the PlayStation logo in the corner of the stream there, and I was like, that looks a little fuzzy. And then as they start to show trailers and things like that, even after you know, the house lights went down and stuff like that, I could tell that the big movie theater screen that I tried to get tickets for, like a banshee, and Jim had to do even more work because he got tickets twice, once for him and his wife Rachel out in LA, and a second time for me and Ben out here in Orlando. He had to do all this work, yet PlayStation cannot guarantee that the screen they are streaming these live events to isn't up to par. So they, like in that pre-show, they had a long thing with Mark Cerny talking about the PlayStation 4 Pro and how awesome it is. Couldn't freaking tell on the Regal screen over in Waterford Lakes in Orlando, Florida. It was dim. It wasn't enough brightness because you could tell there was like detail in the background you couldn't see. It was a little bit grainy, so it didn't look 4K. It didn't look 2K. Hell, it didn't even look 1080p sometimes. So it was all around disappointing to sit in the theater and have that be the PlayStation experience because it was altogether lackluster. So the conference starts, and I know that this wasn't just us. This was the entire PlayStation stream which was really, really embarrassing for them. Not only was the pre-show littered with things from, what's his name, Sid Schumann, looking at the camera, not realizing he's live. Of course, that's probably not his fault. There's a person on the other side of the camera supposed to tell him, like, hey, you're live, go, and 3, 2, 1. They had a terrible time doing that. But the stream starts, and there were 2.5, let's be fair, but pretty much 3 trailers that had no audio whatsoever. Days Gone was a little bit longer of a trailer with some gameplay and stuff like that, so they saved themselves by turning it on in that. But the first one, we called it, Uncharted Lost Legacy. No idea what that's about. No sound. I thought it was Tomb Raider until they said Naughty Dog. Couldn't tell otherwise. Everybody in our theater was hooting and hollering and going, what the heck, oh man. This was the best one. The next one was for DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn. Someone in our theater called it Horizon Zero Sound. Oh man, this was so embarrassing for them. And I know when people look at the things and the lineups and stuff, they'll go, oh, they won't count this against PlayStation, but if you want to go toe-to-toe, conference for conference, you got to include this kind of stuff. Xbox had their Mixer thing, and that turned out really great. I didn't even get to tell you about all the free stuff I got by watching it on Mixer on my Xbox One, because it had not arrived when I was recording my reaction video. So let me just go to there. We saw the PlayStation loot, right? There's a code on there probably for $5 or $10 on the PlayStation Store, which I'm going to give to Jim. But on the Xbox side, and you can still take advantage of this through this Friday, all you got to do is turn on your Xbox One, go into the Mixer app, and you got to activate the chat, basically. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell you to link your Xbox account to the Mixer. I don't know why, but just do this process anyway, and you will get Rare Replay. Yes, Rare Replay for free. That is 30 games, all in one, a bunch of backwards compatible games for Xbox 360, Perfect Dark 1 and 2. There's 3 Banjo-Kazooie games in there. You will get, and 2 other games, some Hawken DLC, the Minecraft pack, and 2 other full indie games, things like that. I forget what they're called off the top of my head, but I'm trying to talk about PlayStation. So do that on your Xbox, and you're all going to get that stuff for free. Not this silly little poster that only a few people got, because they didn't have enough theaters, or much less didn't have a ticket system that could give out the tickets in an organized way the first time. So it's just, this PlayStation thing, I don't know why everybody gets so hyped up about this shit. I have no idea. Because to me, it just looks like a massive logistical failure, right? Okay, so let's get back to the conference. Let's stop bitching about the crappy experience of the PlayStation experience by sitting in the theater. So, Uncharted Lost Legacy, didn't pay much attention, I had no sound. Horizon Zero Dawn DLC looked cool, again, no sound. Days Gone, we saw a little bit more than we did the last year. And I don't know when these games are coming out. They didn't have dates. At least, I'm sorry I'm going to keep comparing this to the Xbox, but I really feel like I am an Xbox fan. I only have an Xbox. I do not have a PlayStation, so I just want to get this out there. But everybody shits on Xbox so hard. At least Xbox will tell you, A, if it's an exclusive, because they know people will freaking count that against them or not, and what date it comes out. Usually in the little bottom. Half these PlayStation trailers that we had no dates on them whatsoever. And if they did, they seemed really far off. Okay, Days Gone. Then we had this trailer for this game. It's dinosaurs with the guy with the giant sword. No idea what's going on with this thing. And then when the title hit, Monster Hunter World. The 3 guys sitting to my right went nuts over this thing. I was like, okay, not being familiar with the game, I guess not. It didn't excite me very much. It made me miss, though, the game from Microsoft, Scalebound, that got canceled, which they renewed the trademark on or something, and we don't know what's going to happen to that game. Maybe it will see the light of day someday. I mean, for crying out loud, if that Bird Dog game can come out on PlayStation 15 years later, maybe we will get Scalebound one day. All right, the next one, and I know this is going to be Jimmy's game of the show, even though it was like a short 1-minute trailer, and it made him cry just like Bird Dog did when it came out last year. I can almost guarantee he was bawling over this. He was so happy. This is Jimmy's favorite game of the entire world, not, of all generations, across all time, across all universes. the Shadow of the Colossus trailer. Now, somebody recognized it when the silhouette of the kid in his cape was running across the screen. I never played Shadow of the Colossus, but I'm not smart enough to recognize the silhouette of the kid. Again, those guys to my right that went nuts about the Monster Hunter recognized that silhouette and started going, ooh. I think the Japan studio may have been a little hint, and it didn't quite click in my mind. But anyway, when that recognizable monster popped up, I was like, oh. I turned and looked at Ben and said, Jimmy's crying right now. Guarantee it. This won his E3 for him because all Sony does is tug at their little fans' heartstrings and stuff like that. So, Shadow of the Colossus. Although it's unclear, I want to state this. It's unclear if this is a sequel or a complete remake. It's just unclear. So, I'm probably going for like a sequel, even though it's not called Shadow of the Colossus 2. Again, we have a God of War, which is basically God of War 4. That's just called God of War, since we're on a new generation of systems and things like that. So, I'm going for a brand new game. That's my inclination, and I know Jimmy is just gonna, has already lost his mind about that, and I'm sure he's gonna call me here as soon as I'm done recording this, and he's gonna tell me that that was the standout moment of E3 so far. All right, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Now, the previous trailer for this was all the fighting gameplay. This one, they wanted to show you they had a story mode, and boy, did that look terrible. Having just played the wonderful Injustice 2, this looked awful. I have to say, the facial animations were stiff. The art style, I don't get their art style at all. I really like the art style from Marvel v. Capcom 3 a few years ago, much less, or 4, whatever. Well, yeah, Marvel v. Capcom 4, the one that was on the new systems, much less the art style from 3, that the classic one. But yeah, anyway, it just looked awful. There is a story demo available now, so you can go check that out. It doesn't, I don't remember if it's PS4 only. I don't even know if this game is coming to other than Xbox. No idea. It doesn't say. Then we had Call of Duty World War II. Looks cool. And then a bunch of VR games, some of which was like, why is this in VR? Skyrim VR. VR. PlayStation VR. So powerful it will run last generation's oldest games on your VR headset. So powerful. Yeah. I don't know. Play it on Switch. That'll probably be a better experience. You won't get sick. Starlight VR. This was a side-scroller as a VR game. Why VR? Inpatient VR. You're in an insane asylum, I guess. Nothing to go on other than that. This was the weird one. Monster of the Deep. Final Fantasy 15. This is Final Fantasy's VR fishing game. Go figure. Bravo Team VR. Now, this is actually what I was most interested in VR, thinking that you would see a lot more of these games than we actually have so far. This is a shooter in VR with the PlayStation Move, and it looks like you could do all this stuff. You're tilting, you're moving, you're strafing, working in simulation with the Army. I don't work for the Army, but seeing this at show floors and stuff, they're starting to explore this a lot more. So what you will be playing if you play Bravo Team is probably pretty similar to what the Army is starting to buy, or the Marines are starting to buy to train their troops in situations and things like that. So just keep that in mind. If you like it, maybe, join up one of the services or something. Then we had a 3D platformer in VR called Moss. Again, why is a 3D platformer in VR? Wasn't clear. Then we had God of War. Looked cool, but I couldn't help but miss the crazy acid trippy button mashy gameplay of God of War 1, 2, and 3. This looks like they took God of War, threw him in the Norse mythology, which is very interesting. The storyline seems very interesting because they're talking about mixing your gods versus the new gods of this realm. Hell, they encountered the world serpent that is supposed to battle Thor during Ragnarok, and Thor's supposed to kill him. I forget the actual serpent's name now, but that was a really cool Easter egg there if you know your mythology. But Kratos now looks like a slow, lumbering, Dark Souls-y warrior. Throw this, throw that. It wasn't super fast. It was just... It looked interesting, but again, it didn't seem like God of War to me. Maybe that's why they took the number off of it, so that it would be a new God of War. Okay, I got 5 minutes left on here. Destiny 2, little trailer showed us really nothing new other than that PlayStation again is going to get all this exclusive shit that Xbox is not. or PC probably for that matter. They get an exclusive strike, one PvP map, exclusive gear, and one exotic weapon. Okay. Then we had Spider-Man, which was the last game they showed, and it was a really, really long gameplay demo. Gameplay looks great. What I did notice, though, is that it seems like they turned Spider-Man into Batman now. He was more stealthy. He was doing some action stuff. Once he was following the helicopter through the city and stuff like that, it was more action-y. But Spider-Man, was more like prowling those dudes, almost like any Arkham game that Batman was in with the detective vision and stuff. He swung a guy, pulled him up with his webbing and stuff like that. All the things that Batman already has done with his grapple hook in 3 other games. Just want to point that out there. So if people think that this Spider-Man game is groundbreaking for Spider-Man, it's really not. They're borrowing a lot from Batman Arkham, it looks like. Now, when you jump into the city stuff and web swinging, I will give you that. That stuff you have not seen before. It looked really good. The little Miles Morales thing at the very end was cool. A lot of the theater went wild for that. I didn't get it that excited. I think by that time I had already mellowed on the entire thing and thought that I should have watched this at home. So I did not yell, hoot and howl for Miles. But that doesn't even mean it's going to be in the story. Maybe that's him in the entire game. Maybe he's just an alternate character. Who knows? So that was basically it. How many games is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 games. 17 games in an hour. A little short, I think. I just want to go back and say, what did Microsoft show us? 42 games in an hour and a half, plus a brand new console that maybe not everybody needs to buy, personally. But if you want to say who won E3, I have to go with who showed us the most games. And that is not PlayStation. I'm sorry. Now, people have already been countering, who has the best games and exclusives and things like that. Now, I just want to look at all the ones that PlayStation had here. Detroit, Spider-Man, some of the VR games, obviously. Shadow of the Colossus, obviously going to be an exclusive. Days Gone, Uncharted Lost Legacy. All that stuff is games you already knew about coming into the show. They didn't show you anything brand new, really, which was a little thing. And they had the other ones in the pre-show, but we won't count that. We're just counting the real thing here. So, I'm a little biased, I will say, and the theater experience did turn me off from the conference. But all things being equal, if you want to look at just the games that they showed you during the conference, in terms of interest, in terms of variety, I think Microsoft took it away this year. And I know that other people will say I'm wrong, but that's my opinion. It's not going to be Jim's, and I know this is Jim's channel, so in Jim's defense, he'll probably think that PlayStation won E3, even though Nintendo hasn't even come out yet. That's fine, that'll be tomorrow. I will not be doing a reaction tomorrow. I think you've had enough of me. So thank you guys for joining me on this E3 press conference weekend. Thank you for watching, and thank you for putting up with me in my Xbox bias. Probably this last 20 minutes you're rolling your eyes a lot. That's okay with me. You don't have to like me. I want you to like Jim. Please come back for the next video on this channel where Jim will be back raving about his experiences at E3. I'm so excited to hear about them. I've heard some stories already. I talked to him for 40 minutes on the phone before I went over to the PlayStation conference tonight. Sounds like he's having a great time. I cannot wait to hear about the Xbox Fan Fest Part 1. Apparently the Bethesda, after the conference that he got to get into, they had a free bar everywhere and liquor shots, and he was drinking Nuka-Cola and Doom Fire liquor shots, all that stuff. Can't wait to hear about all that. So please come back to the vypermajik channel to hear all that. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me which part of my PlayStation hate that I just spewed to you for 20 minutes that you disagreed with the most, because I'm sure people are going to think I'm just a PS4 hater. That's right. But honestly, it had to do a lot with the poor theater experience that I sat in. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys later on. Bye-bye.